we are live, or maybe we've been for a couple seconds, but depending on how it cuts on the.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, anybody who might be watching this, what we thought we would do Thursday nights are normally our filming nights here whenever we can pull it off. Right now, I'm in the middle of selling my house to make a move over to from Ontario to Montreal. So as you can see, my where I normally film over here is kind of empty. So we thought Alessandra and I were going to have a beer anyways, and just do a little bit of beer brainstorming, beer bracket brainstorming. But
Best kind of
also,
beer.
right? Yeah. But we thought, you know what? Let's go live, see if anybody pops in, anybody wants to say hi or join the conversation. The last live we did was pretty awesome. Yeah, we got a good amount of people who popped in there, a lot of good questions and comments. So we'll see how this one goes. So, buddy, we always have kind of like a pre-beer before we film
Yeah.
anything. So I'll let you start, man. What are you having as your pre-beer?
Well,
This beer. It's not a
it would.
pre-beer. It's the beer.
It's the beer. Yeah, that's right. Like it's normally a pre-beer, but well, like I'm for who that might have been mentioned before or not, like
Mm.
depending. But I'm gonna just say that this beer is one that is dear to me. It's the Sierra
Oh,
Nevada
yes.
Oktoberfest Fest beer. I'm not gonna give too many details about this because I know there's I might have mentioned something
Hmm.
about it before,
You might have,
but
yeah.
since there's something that has been filmed already that is
Yeah.
hasn't been released yet, so I'm not gonna go too much into the details. But yeah, that's what I was gonna have as a
Yeah,
preview here
exactly. And
tonight.
we'll talk about that a little bit more in a couple of minutes because that's a good topic right there. So one of our subscribers, One Man's Odyssey, he's got a really awesome YouTube channel, and Nate, he's on most of our lives as well, and a good friend of ours. So he came up to
Yeah.
visit me in Hamilton 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and he brought me some beers from New Mexico, some local beers, and
Mm.
I've been slowly getting through them and trying them. And one of them he brought me that I've been really curious about and holding on to is from a brewery called Ex Novo, and it is an oatmeal pale ale.
Wow.
Yeah, and it rhymes with orange. So it's made with oatmeal pale ale with Caracara orange puree. So it's apparently very citrusy. I've never had an oatmeal pale ale before.
Oh,
I've had oatmeal
me neither.
stouts. Yeah, and this comes very highly recommended by Nate. So hopefully he sees this. If I know he's watching football. Apparently today's I'm not a big football fan, so apparently today's the watch of the season. He texted me before to say he was watching some football and having a Jelly King from Bellwoods Brewery that I gave him. So it's
Nice.
you, Nate. I'll let you know
Well,
what you think. So, buddy, let's open these beers, and
let's do
we got a
it.
lot to talk about in this little live here. Oh, Stormblade in the chat again with sending a little super thanks there. Thank you so much, Stormblade.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
ever
you.
so generous. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Um, are you having a wit? It looks like. Oh, tried the Hogarden. Yummy. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, nice. What did you think about it?
This is, by the way, the Modelo Chelada Mango and Chili was yummy. Oh, you got your hands on one of those. I can't get those here in Canada, unfortunately. Do you get those?
See, haven't looked yet. I saw they had like the regular, but not the mango and chili. But I haven't been hunting, so I'll be honest. Like I'll have to look a
You
little
haven't been on the
further.
beer hunt.
Yeah, no, no, not recently, because I had like quite a few already stocked up. Like so, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and see what I can find.
He's at work currently. Okay, so not having
Oh,
a
okay.
beer
Well
moment.
then,
But
yeah, of course. Like,
thanks for popping in and joining us
yeah.
for a beer. Anyways, we appreciate it. It's good to see you. This smells amazing. It has a lot of like pale ale characteristics. It's really nice and malty and hoppy, but there is like made with the orange puree as I mentioned on the can, really citrusy and orangey. So very eager to
Nice.
try this. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Yes, we did ask you to report back exactly. Thank you for reporting.
And you did, and you did. So thank you, thank you.
Ooh,
How is it, my friend? I'm very curious. Can you taste at all the oatmeal, like the fact that it's made with oatmeal, or?
that's hard to say. That's hard to say. I don't think I would be able to pinpoint that taste. I think you definitely get the orange. There's a really
Mm,
strong, like orange puree. There's a really strong bitterness, almost like a orange peel puree. That's
gotcha.
definitely really, really pleasant, present, and pleasant, pleasant and present.
A double pleasant present.
It's really light, really, really light in body, really easy drinking, really fluffy carbonation to it.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
Look at
interesting
that.
color too. I would think, when I think about oatmeal stouts, every oatmeal stout that I've had has been just a little bit thicker in body, a little bit darker, a little bit
Mm.
more oaty and flavorful in that sense. Um, this is really all about the orange. So I'm not sure what the oatmeal adds to it exactly. Whatever it is, it's really good.
That's awesome. Yeah. To when the
Mm,
few things I know about the oats is that they're normally used to add a little bit of body to the beer, like a little bit
there you
of
go.
almost like a starchy component. But
Starchy,
if
yeah.
it exactly like it adds a little bit of
Hmm.
that richness into the beer. So they're often used also to and also to produce a little bit of that potentially like hazy effect. So but it's
Awesome.
interesting. Like that seems extremely light and very transparent. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you had told me that that was a lager, I would have
Hmm.
said, okay, yeah, that could definitely be it.
Yeah. Right?
Look at the
Corrales,
can,
New
awesome,
Mexico. Yeah, it's really cool.
beautiful
Thanks.
color.
Thanks, Nate. It's a fantastic beer. So you mentioned before that we'd already filmed something with your Oktoberfest beer. So speaking of Nate, when we did a live 2 weeks ago, he had mentioned he had asked us what happened to beer brackets of the month, and that's actually one of the reasons why we haven't posted in a little while. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live too is because we've been editing the next beer bracket of the month episode, and those are just a little bit longer. They take a little bit longer to edit. They're a little bit more involved. They're longer episodes in general, but there's a lot more sort of additions to them aside from just Alessandra and I talking and the regular sort of overlay graphics that go with that. So he was mentioning that he really appreciated those styles of episodes and we should do more of that, where it's kind of like off the cuff, opening and closing our beer brackets, and presenting beers to each other, special beer finds. So the beer hunt, and so we're starting a new series of episodes called the Beer Explorers, which is just that, seeking out interesting beers, rare beers, special treasure beers, and opening and closing our beer brackets with each other and presenting them to each other. So the first one that we already filmed may or may not be Oktoberfest themed. So there's the hint there. Mhm.
Cheers.
Stormblade, if you sell wooden, I'd buy one. Sure. Right? Wouldn't, yeah. Um, so, what I was about to tell you, I said I had an interesting story for you, man.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, I'm in the process of moving back to Montreal, so we're not going to be able to film for a little while here, and that's why my set is kind of non-existent right now. And so we're selling the house that we have here, and one we just put it on the market today, man. Like I mentioned to you a couple
Mm.
hours ago, and so our real estate agent came over, and she's like, "I got a really interesting text message," and it was from the producer from HGTV, a
Okay.
show called Property Virgins on HGTV.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you've ever seen that show before, but similar to like there's other similar shows called like House Hunters, things like that, where it's basically a reality show
Okay.
where they take somebody or a couple and they go visit 3 or 4 houses and they have to pick one at the end of it. So um,
Okay.
they chose our house to be one of the houses that they visit. So
Nice.
yeah, so they're like, we would love to come take over your house for a day. Obviously, we'll pay you for the usage of your house and filming in your house. So the whole film crew will come. And then this couple who's from Toronto. And so they're showing them 2 condos in Toronto in their price range, which is pretty much probably going to be like a little condo in this price range. And then they're going to bring them an hour out to Hamilton and show them our house, which is like we live kind of far out from that city. So you can get a lot more for your dollar. So you get a little, bigger, separated, kind of not detached house. And so this is going to be kind of like the curveball option that they show this couple, where it's like you could live in Toronto and live in a condo, or
Gotcha.
you could commute for 45 minutes and live in a big house. So we're trying to decide if we're going to do it because they do pay a little bit. It's not enough that it's would make us want to definitely do it, but the perk I think is that they're potential buyers, which is a thing. But then we got to get out of the house for like 14 hours, and we have a little 2-year-old, and that's just kind of hard.
Yeah, that can get like a little problematic for sure.
Yeah. And also, you'd
Yeah.
have like a crew of God knows how many people just going through your house for 14 hours when you're not there, right? So,
Yeah, there's definitely like I can definitely see some negatives there. But on the positive side, like that's very nice that they picked your house. It means like it has a lot of, I'm sure, a lot of character. For to be picked to be on a TV show, and in a sense also it's I'm sure it's a little endearing. Like think like if you decide to do it, like
yeah.
you're always gonna have like that to say, oh look, that's our house. Like we were still living in it when that happened.
Yeah, exactly, right? And there's going to be like a year delay too till the episode airs. So
Hmm.
it's not even like it's instant gratification, like we'd get to watch it a couple of weeks later or anything like that. But
Ah, I see, I see. So
yeah, it
it's
would be
more of a
cool though.
long, yeah, it could be, it
Yeah,
could be. I guess like yeah, obviously it's a lot of deciding if it's worth it, like and how much they pay for it, and like and how much stress is gonna cause, like
yeah,
especially considering you have a kid, like it's I can
yeah,
see that adds an extra dimension to it. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I can see like a lot of things on the plate for sure.
yeah. So Stormblade. Oh, you okay? You sorry, I misunderstood. You're asking about the wooden beer bracket signs that he has on. Okay, so those we don't sell those. I got those through a company called Craft My Sign. That's craftmysign.com. They actually sponsored
Hmm.
2 episodes of Beer Brackets back in the day. They do. I'm not afraid to, they're not official sponsors or anything right now, but I'm not afraid to promote them. They do great stuff. They also have an Etsy store. You can go check them out. You can pretty much customize any kind of wooden sign like that, and they're really not expensive or anything like that. And they ship pretty quickly. So free plug for craftmysign.com. But that's
Yeah.
where we got those. That's where we had those
Yep.
custom made. Yeah. Mm.
Those are the special beer brackets. They've been with us since pretty much the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And how are you guys doing, man? How's like the recovery from hurricane watch?
Oh, it's been good. Like luckily, it was only a watch, so just being ready, getting ready and prepped and everything.
Yeah.
Video
Oh,
stopped. Like okay, I'm back.
you're back. There you go.
I assume. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't even big of a storm where we live. Luckily, I know somebody else got impacted like quite heavily.
Hmm.
So obviously sorry for anybody who is still recovering from that. It's always like a bad thing when a storm like that comes through.
Yeah, for sure.
Luckily we got almost no, I mean no impact at all. I mean normally when the hurricane is a little closer you have to clean branches and things that have fallen down. Sometimes
Right.
bigger damages like. Luckily this time nothing happened, so it was just like prepping and then setting everything back. Um,
Oh yeah, Alessandro. It looks like when you came back from the last one, I think your mic got disconnected.
Oh, it might have happened. Let's fix that. Let's see here.
We'll get that sorted out.
Okay.
Good old technical glitches. Yeah, this beer absolutely fantastic. Again, oatmeal pale ale. This style is actually super interesting. As far as pale ales go, I was expecting, whenever you have a pale ale, you're expecting something like really malty,
Mm.
really hoppy. This is both, but on a much milder level. And it's really the citrus that comes through. Citrus and the malt. Oh my God. So definitely, yes. If anybody is in the States, or if you are by any chance in New Mexico or in or around, again, thank you so much, Nate. Ex Novo Brewing Company. It rhymes with orange. Fantastic beer. Absolutely fantastic.
I will be right back, my friend. 1 second, because I
No
think
problem.
the microphone just dropped.
Hmm. Pop out and pop back in. So that's the thing. So that's why we haven't posted in a little while. So those beer bracket of the month episodes definitely do take a lot longer to edit. And the funny thing is, we talked about this in the live that we did a couple of weeks ago. Those episodes are definitely our lowest viewed episodes, as opposed to the reviews or the versus battles. But they are our favorite episodes to do, and it's really, hey, he's back.
I'm back.
There we go. Yeah, I was just talking about the beer brackets of the month and how they're our favorite episodes to do, and they kind of encapsulate everything that is Alessandro and I's
Oh, for
creative,
sure.
twisted creative minds. And
That's the most fun part, in my opinion, at least. Like getting
exactly.
to be free creatively
Mm,
and play with storylines and drink delicious beers. What more can you ask for?
exactly. And if anybody else that's watching here hasn't seen one of the beer bracket of the month episodes, they're cool because what they do, we do talk about beers that we don't normally feature in things like reviews or versus battles, because most of the time they're beers that both of us can't get. So us, of course, being in different countries, him being down in Florida, and myself being up in Ontario, Canada, the beers that we have access to are different. So this way we get to go on the beer hunt, explore the local beer and liquor stores and find interesting rare beers that get really excited to share with each other and have with each other and talk about and learn about. But at the same time, we get to feature these beers on the channel that we wouldn't normally talk about otherwise. So there's so many. I mean, this is going to be episode 14. Each one's about half an hour to 45 minutes long. We talk about we feature 4 different beers on each episode. So they're definitely worth going back and watching, not just for the storylines, which is a continuous storyline that has been going on for 3 years. But we do talk about a lot of beers that you wouldn't hear us talk about otherwise on those episodes, which is great.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna spoil anything too much, but like
Mm.
Joe said, like I think there's good elements for everybody. So
Mm.
there's the storyline, there's talk about beer, there's the hanging out. So yeah, they're fun. At least we enjoy them.
So how's that fest beer, man?
Delicious, my friend. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because, like I
Don't
said,
want to
like there
spoil it.
might be or not be, but maybe like we'll create a little bit of anticipation. It's delicious, delicious. But what's interesting that is not revealed today, but in the episode is like why I have this beer, and there's ties there. And it's interesting, and there's also some cool little facts about the beer itself, like the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. But since I can't talk too much about the beer, I also have something interesting to bring up that we've talked a little bit usually
Oh,
before filming. I know I've mentioned to you that in a bit I'm gonna be going back to Italy to
yes.
see my family in a couple of weeks.
So jealous.
So yeah. So in a
I'm
sense,
happy you
like
guys
it
are
will
getting to do
be.
that trip. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a short trip, about a week, but that opens up the opportunity, as always, like for some local beer hunting, which
Mhm.
we've done before, like last
Leave room
Christmas,
in your
like the
luggage,
winter
man.
episode. Yeah, exactly. And but on top of that, we've talked, like if we can arrange to make like a short live, it could be fun to feature maybe some local beers, and I can
That'd
see
be
if I
awesome,
can
man.
get my hands on something that is difficult to find over here in the States, and then maybe we can chat about it and get some first live impressions. So we'll see what comes from it. But for sure, if not anything, the live, and then anything else, like depending on
Yeah.
what I have time to manage. So that's a little announcement there for everybody. Like if you guys are sticking around, like you're gonna get some content in that sense for sure.
We had Nick, longtime subscriber, popped into chat. What's Alessandro drinking?
Mm,
Well, I'll let him answer
that's
that.
a Yep. So I have this nice Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest fest beer, and it comes in. I don't know if it was clear there in the camera. 6% ABV, and as you can see here, it's pretty delightful,
Mm.
nice golden color, as a
Nice
very good
golden beer
Oktoberfest
color.
should be. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has that nice festive beer color. Now the head has died out a little bit here, but initially you could really see it had a nice head retention here, and but it's so delicious, so delicious, and yeah, and it's a pure classic Sierra Nevada style. So we can do this since camera
So
angle is a little different.
I'm really excited for this first episode of the Beer Explorers that's going to be coming. And for anybody, I see we have, okay, 5 people watching before. I think we're down to 4 or 3, which is cool. We don't normally, I think our viewers are slow burn. They like to watch episodes gradually over time. You know, it seems like most of them wind up watching them eventually over the course of a couple of weeks. I guess when they have their beer meditation, whenever that is, on a Friday or Saturday, they'll sit down and catch up on some episodes. The lives are more for us just to hang out and whoever wants to pop in. So anybody who does join is a nice little bonus. But we're talking about how we'll have a new series of episodes called The Beer Explorers, where Alessandro and I really go out and seek interesting beers and open and close our beer brackets with each other and present them to each other. And our first episode is going to be Oktoberfest themed. And I'm really excited for that series, man. Hey, there's Nate. Heck yeah. Nate, I'm drinking the Ex Novo. It is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And excited for that. We've talked about this already, but I love the beer hunt, the concept of the beer hunt. And, you know, when we started doing this channel, that was really the spirit behind it, was going out and finding new interesting things that you wanted to try. Everyone's watching football. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. I keep forgetting as a Canadian, you know, we don't do the NFL. Well, some people do the NFL up here, but Nate, you're probably actually one of the only CFL fans in the States that I know, but yeah, I always forget. Football season just isn't, it's not on my radar up here. But yeah, I'm excited that, you know, the beer hunt, the joy of going out and seeking out new beers and exploring and walking into a store. Maybe you're trying a different store. You're traveling, you're on the road, pop into a new place you haven't been before, and you check out the beer shelves and you see a beer treasure on the shelf that's catches your eye. It's the joy of the hunt. And that's what it's going to be centered around. I'm really excited for that.
It will be an incredible adventure and more beer exploration for us.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we're excited to share this with everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, man, I hope we can get back to filming at some point. I know, like what you were saying before, like, yeah, it's about the hangout, not just the
Yeah.
filming, right? Which is true. It's very true. It's always just been
It
about
definitely is.
you and me hanging out and having a beer, but I'm
Definitely
excited to get back to it. But I'm so curious to see in my new house, because now I have the potential again to build
Yep.
a new pub. A new beer
That's
pub.
it's where it's I don't think it's exactly rebuilding it. It's how to say, the right word is that it's manifesting itself in a
Yes.
different form. That's the right
Yes,
word. It's
exactly.
not rebuilding it. It's a
Manif-
different manifestation of the same pub.
It's the same pub spirit manifesting
Yes.
itself in a new physical location. I love that. That's exactly what it is. But it's so cool because I get to reconstruct it and recalibrate
Definitely.
everything and really sort of take everything, all these experiences from the last 2 years filming here and translate that to somewhere else and improve and build something new.
And it also will be a nice, in a sense, a little reset, refresh, right? Like also for the viewers, like they get to see a new and all of a sudden unfamiliar pub that will slowly become more and more, accustomed to everybody. I think it's a great feeling.
You know what? I think visually it'll be the same, but it's like, you know how every time when we're starting, it's like, hey, we press play, we press record, and then I've got to do like gymnastics through 10 feet of wires because I'm in this
Yep.
tiny cramped little room to get back down to the seat. I think if I can simplify that part of it and have a little bit more space where the wires aren't all crammed into like a little 3 foot by 3 foot area that I got to walk through without touching any wires, because it might
Yeah.
knock something over slightly and the box light might tip over and unplug my microphone and cause an explosion and a fire and who knows what.
Yeah, there's always feel like there's always a little bit of that in a way or
There's
another.
always a
Like
little
when
bit of
you, well, not only for you. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
talking
no.
for myself too. Because
Yeah.
I normally, like right now, I don't have the box light. But normally with the box light and the microphone I normally have like on the other side, like so it
Mhm.
always gets like a little crammed. Like so, no matter how you put it, you always
Right.
have to do a little bit of beer gymnastics, which probably is good.
Well, the good thing is that we drink the beers after doing the gymnastics. So you're not
Yes.
doing the pre-gymnastics beers, which always
No,
keeps
exactly.
well, there's the right amount. Like maybe one pre-beer gets you loose enough for the gymnastics, but anything more, this is going to wreak havoc on everything.
Yeah, and that's also the good way, because like when we're done filming, we just have to take the equipment down, so there's nothing, you're not
And then you just stumble through everything and just
Boom, boom,
knock it all
boom.
down. No, it's always very. And the room that I film in is kind of like connected to my daughter's room too. Kind of like they share a wall. Um, so it's relatively soundproof, but if there's like a loud banging noise, if something gets tipped over or something, like that'll she'll hear that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
we don't. No more ghosts
no more beer
in the
ghosts.
attic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, right? That's another thing. Hmm. Talking about brackets of the month. Well, the Ghost of the Wizard was released from the attic, so
Mm.
that's taken care of. But still,
You never know, man. Like, and it's like I think you should inform, the people about the fact that there's been ghosts.
I should show them that video. After,
Say, hey, just so you're aware, like,
after they buy the house, though, after they sign all the paperwork, I'll send them a link to that Halloween episode that we did. It's like, just so you know, there might be something up in the attic.
yeah, just if you hear some creaky noises.
Yeah. Oh, Nate, yeah, enjoyed the Jelly King now having an Elysian Great Pumpkin. Ooh, nice.
Mm.
Yeah, those Jelly Kings are fantastic. Alessandro, I don't think you haven't tried the Jelly King yet, right?
No,
I
no.
talked about
But
it
I was
alive.
I've had the Elysian, the Great
Mm,
Pumpkin. That's a good one. No, I haven't had the
I've
Jelly
never had
King.
that one. I think you would really enjoy the Jelly King, man. It's a sour. I think it's technically a pale ale, but it's a sour, for the most part, and
Hmm.
it's delicious. It is absolutely delicious. It's hard to describe. It's very simple, really well done, really clean flavors, um, but just really unique at the same time. I find all of Bellwood's beers. They're a brewery based out of Toronto, fantastic brewery. All their beers are just create very just high quality, very well done. So they're not necessarily blowing you away with something you haven't tasted before, although some are. I featured their
Mm.
intermodal once on Beer Brackets of the Month, and that was a mix of a blend of two of their beers that had been barrel aged after being blended, and that was absolutely fun. That was something I'd never tasted before. Their standard line of beers are um, very straightforward, but very good. Very, very, very good. Elysian Great Pumpkin must be new. I needed previously. It was the Night Owl Pumpkin and a scoop of vanilla bean ice cream. Damn, that sounds good. You're not the first person to say that, actually. Somebody in one of our chats mentioned a scoop of ice cream. That might have been you, Stormblade. I'm sorry. But somebody did mention that before. And then an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Need the Elysian Pumpkin Pack. They have a pumpkin pack?
Yep. Yep. It's
Man, you
it was
guys.
actually already out when I procured some of my Oktoberfest beers. So yeah, I've been waiting for those because it felt like a little too early in August, like to get. So but yeah,
It
they're
was
already
you.
out
Okay.
here.
Right? Yeah, that's so funny how you guys get all your Oktoberfest beers out in August. That's just wild to me and I didn't, Oktoberfest starts like I think this year September 16th might be is
Yeah,
technically the first day of Oktoberfest, and then
something
it
about that.
goes
Yeah.
until like October 3rd or 4th. So you think Oktoberfest it would be most of October, but it's actually mostly in September. And then I guess you guys, I don't know if it's the same all over the states, but at least in the southern states where you are, and I think Nate had
Hmm.
mentioned that it's the same thing for him, where these Oktoberfest beers come out in like mid-August, is it, or even early August,
Yep.
which is hilarious. Yeah, for me, I get them like September 30th. They'll release like one or two, and that's it, like right towards the end, and barely any of that. But yeah, I'm so jealous of the beer selection that you guys have down in the States. I've said this so many times on the channel, but I love traveling to the States just for that.
Yeah.
Even if I don't buy anything, just browsing a grocery store in like the southern states, especially, and just seeing
Yeah.
the selection that you guys have is like so much
Yeah.
fun.
We're spoiled. We're
So much
spoiled in
fun.
that sense.
Really, you guys really are. Yeah. Even like in I haven't been all over Europe or like the UK per se, but where I have been, there I haven't even seen a selection there. It seems like very um, unique, kind of at least to the southern, even the northern states that I've traveled to. If you go to like very specific liquor stores, sometimes they'll have like a real diverse selection with a lot of imports and a lot of locals and crafts. But um, Yeah, it's the southern states, man. You guys are spoiled. Ooh, Demise Media popping in. What's up? Man, you haven't popped into it. Well, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. The
Good to see you,
best
man.
ramen noodle reviews on YouTube. You got to say, Demise.
I
He also does
agree.
beer reviews too. Fantastic beer reviews. But if you're into the ramen noodle reviews, he does them better than anybody else. Not afraid to say that. Nate, one local brewery released their Vienna Lager Oktoberfest super early, but surprisingly releasing a fest beer on the 15th. Yeah. Oh, and Demise me, I've been enjoying Pumpkinhead by Shipyard.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a very good one. Yeah, yeah. That's actually one of the first. I think one of the first pumpkin beers that I tried that was, you know, kind of like set me. Okay, this is something I've never had before.
Okay.
It kind of like changed my perspective a little bit because, like you mentioned, pumpkin beers definitely are not a thing in Europe. So
They're
when
not, right?
I tried them, no, 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 not at all, and or at least not anywhere I used to frequent. Like so,
Yeah.
when I first came here is when I got exposed to it, and the Shipyard one is definitely one of the first one that you know kind of like got me into that in that mood, in that scene, in that kind of flavor. Very well done, very good beer.
So I'm curious. Do you remember anything about it? Um, and this is a question for you too. Sorry, buddy. I don't know your name. I just know you use Demise Media. But if you want to, it's cool if you want to go by that moniker too. Kind of like a kind of like your stage name. That's totally fine. But collab, yeah. I so what about the Pumpkinhead Ale by Shipyard is kind of like unique, or what do you remember about it? I'm curious because I haven't tried any of these, but any kind of like sort of pumpkin related ale or stout that I've had, I've always really enjoyed.
Yeah. So I think for me, for the what I remember, the main the main characteristic was the level of pumpkin flavor, but at the same time not being like drinking, you know, allow me lack of a better term, like it's not like drinking a pumpkin latte.
Mm,
It's not that. It's still a beer, so it still has all the characteristics of beer, but it has those flavors. And what I remember is that they were all very strong and powerful,
mm.
and but also very in balance in that beer in particular. So it's one of the first time where I had it, and I thought like, okay, well this is you know something more elaborate than anything else I'd had because I tried a couple here and there, but they were all kind of like, okay, this tastes like beer to which you've add like pumpkin extract or something like that. Like, so it's not really anything, you know,
Yeah,
it's completely out of balance. Um,
your
so that's what kind of like I remember.
it seems like your mic went out again, buddy.
Oh, let me jump back in.
Yeah, I don't know. So if you got to do a quick reset there again, go for it. It's all good. Derek. Okay, man, I never knew your name. That's funny. You know, we've been commenting on each other's videos and kind of watching each other's stuff for a long time, but never knew your name. So there we go, Derek. Thanks, for popping in. Pumpkinhead Ale is great, not too sweet or pumpkiny. You know what? There's a local brewery out of Montreal called Saint Ambroise, and they make a really, really nice pumpkin ale as well. And that's kind of like the only one that I can get here. And it's the same thing. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly pumpkiny. That's kind of what I appreciate about it. But I've heard that some, and that's an ale. I've heard some of their like pumpkin stouts can be a little bit sweeter and a little heavier on the pumpkin. I've never tried one, but from what I've heard, ooh, getting some ramen noodle talk in here, right? Is that going on? Night Owl Pumpkin Ale by Elysian. Okay. It's got to be super cold or it can get bitter. Have you tried the Night Owl, Ali?
I have not. No,
Mm.
I've seen it, but I haven't tried that one.
Man, I'm so jealous of the beer selection you guys have down in the States. Derek, I think you're down in like a southern state too, right? If I'm not mistaken. We were just talking before. I don't know if you were here for that about how, in my experience, the beer selection down in the South in the States is kind of like a lot more diverse than what you can get up there in the North. Oh, Stormblade, yeah, pushing the ice cream. I love that, man. I love that you do that. I'm curious. Ali, we should try that, man. In one
We
of our
should
episodes, we should do like different stouts with like
beer and ice
scoops of
cream.
ice cream.
Yeah, no, I think that might be a way. It's almost like it's a better version of a beer float. Sorry, a root beer float, like a better an actual beer float.
That's true. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so Derek's down in the Bay Area, California. Okay, cool. 45 minutes from San Francisco. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I've only been to Northern Cali once. I did the drive from LA up to San Francisco. Didn't go north of San Francisco. I don't know if you're north of there or not, but did the drive up to San Fran, spent a couple of hours there, and then just did the drive back down slowly, breaking it up. That's cool. Beer float, yes.
It's the evolution of the root beer float.
Exactly. Man, this again, Nate, if you're still on, this beer, fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was delicious. And I do have a good backup just in case we finished our live beer. I don't know how much longer we're gonna stay on here for, but we're going on 36 minutes. This is supposed to be a quick 25 minutes, just sort of chat a bit, but we don't really have a plan for that. But I do have still a nice stock of Modelo Negra.
Oh,
Ready to go.
look at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
There was actually somebody very angry in the comments on the review who told me it's Negra Modelo and that we shouldn't be calling it Modelo Negra and that it's very blasphemous to do so. But so I should watch myself. I don't want to anger the masses. Got to be careful. So people are very serious about their beer naming. Very, very serious.
And I mean, I guess it might be fair. Like most people I know call it that way, but once again, like it's like Derek said one time, like, what is it? Like, or you told me also, like the Smitwicks. It's not Smitwicks, it's Smittix.
Smittix.
Yeah. So I guess like it's I don't know. Like,
but what I found out, I was so intrigued by that comment that I looked into it, and it's actually a Spanish English thing. So the Spanish way of saying the name would be Negra Modelo.
Yep.
And then in English, the proper structure would be Modelo Negra. But they're interchangeable and both work apparently. Like if you go on the US, Modelo US website, they call it Modelo Negra. But I guess the traditional naming is Negra Modelo because that's, being a Mexican beer.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Nate, glad you like it. I think it has great flavor, and the orange is very subtle. It was. The orange, again, oatmeal pale ale with orange puree. Try and keep my hand steady here so you can read that, but very delicious. And you know what? I find the orange came out kind of strongly on the aroma, which was really nice, really inviting, and not so much on the taste, which again was really nice. I was hoping it would be a very super strong orangey citrus kind of bitter taste, which it wasn't. Super balanced, great beer. You've got great taste, Nate. Thank you for these recommendations. Again, for anyone who just popped in, Nate, one of our subscribers, also has the One Man's Odyssey YouTube channel. Definitely go check it out. He does really, really great hiking videos in New Mexico, but also fantastic beer reviews as well. And he came up to visit me a couple of weeks ago, and we exchanged local beers, and that was one of the ones he brought me. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Beer gifts is like beer Santa.
Yeah, he is like a beer Santa. That's right.
He just came in August instead of in December, so I guess like.
I must say, man, I love our weekends on a Thursday here. This is great because Friday nights, I'm usually so burnt from the week and with the daughter and everything, and it's like we put her to bed, we hang out a little bit, watch a movie, and just fall asleep. And, Saturdays maybe partake in a beer or two, but I love that Thursdays are our night to kind of enjoy ourselves and wind down a little bit.
It's the Friday Eve. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me. If we're having one more, I'll go procure myself one from
please,
from
my
the
friend,
refrigerator, and I will be back.
Please go procure. There we go.
I'll go beer hunt.
Oh, what link are you guys posting here? I think I missed this. I didn't even see mention of a link. Nice. Yeah, this Modelo Negra, surprisingly, is quickly becoming one of my favorite go-to sipping beers. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Sorry, Derek, I saw your message before about a collab. Let me scroll back. And I love this. Feature on your channel for the Juan Stefan Hefe versus Paul Hefe. Oh, dude, yes. Oh, man, let's do that, man. Let's have a little collab going on. We'll figure it out. I'll send you, I don't know if you have your contact info in your YouTube bio or anything, but we'll figure it out. We'll let it know. Our email is on there anyways, I think on our bio. Either hit us up or I'll message you somehow. We should definitely do that. That'd be really fun. That'd be awesome. I think, yeah, that'd be a good time. I love, if anybody in here, I know, it's fluctuating a little bit. We have 4 people in here now, but if anybody hasn't seen Derek's, oh, there we go. Yeah, if nobody's seen his beer reviews before, they're awesome. And you've done a lot of German beers too, right, Derek? I think, at least from what I've noticed, I don't know if that's like a preference of yours, or maybe it just always falls around Oktoberfest when you post them. But I've seen you do quite a few German beer reviews, like Paul Enner, Weinstefaner. Oh, they do make awesome instant ramen, right? Nongshim. Their standard one, like in the red package, dude, is so freaking spicy. I love it, but that stuff like messes with my stomach. That particular one, after it's insanely delicious, especially if you like crack an egg into it. But I pay for that after eating that like an hour later. It's just, not feeling too good. Yeah, definitely, man. Reach out. We will definitely do it. So you got a especial? Oh, dude, this is the versus battle coming to life.
I figure like let's do a VS battle right here on the live, a live VS.
Yin and yang, exactly. Right.
Well said, Nate. Well said, Nate. Always has the right words.
I think that was your line from the VS battle. I think you said that.
Yeah. He's always on point.
Nate has a photographic memory for these kinds of things.
He really does. He really does.
And yeah, very on point with the quotes. That is great.
We appreciate you, Nate. Like, you're number one fan, like, of all time ever. He's been with us since the beginning.
One of the original Beer Bracket subscribers.
An explorer, honorary explorer. He is
honorary elder explorer at this point.
Yeah, the greatest among the explorers.
Nate, I don't know if you were here for that when we talked about this. I think you might have popped in a little bit later, but we're talking about how after the last live, and you were telling us how you were kind of a little, you're asking why we didn't do the Beer Bracket of the Month episodes anymore, or why we hadn't done one in a little while. And then Alessandra and I started talking after that, and we realized, like, you know what? I think Nate's right. I think we need to do more episodes in that style, but without like a greater storyline to it, where it's just us kind of like free flowing and opening and closing our beer brackets, but focusing on the beer hunt. So we're going to be doing that, and that's thanks to you, buddy. And we're very happy about that. We're very excited about that. Mm-hmm. Nice and chilled in the fridge. Oh, yeah. Oh, you sent a picture of the Oktoberfest beers you recently bought. Oh, dude, don't spoil it, man. You got to reveal those on the channel. Gotta keep people coming back for more. That's what you got to do. All nice and chilled in the fridge. Oh, man, I think I saw you had the Hofbrau mugs, right? I think in your review you had one of those, like with the side handle and everything, just nice and chilled. Looked delicious. Your videos are always very visually appealing in that way. The beer always looks delicious.
It makes you want to drink it.
Wear the proper camouflage when you beer hunt. What would be beer camouflage? What do you think? That's a very good question for anybody. What would be good camouflage for going on a beer hunt?
Well, like the number one thing that comes to mind is be sneaky and quick, and because especially with some, like, you gotta be just like there at the right time. So I think with beer hunt, more than camouflage, I think timing is what counts. Which, I mean, I guess you could argue. But,
so you're saying you got to be like aerodynamic. You got to be able to move quick.
Yeah, and also be there at the right times, like, because sometimes some beers come in at a certain time. You need to know when they're coming in. So, for example, like the Oktoberfest, if you were to go shop now, like, most of them are gone. Like, so it's about like knowing, like, okay, they're coming in early August. I think that I would put that as a something to keep in mind, at least here in the States.
More so than camouflage, your timing is more important. Another important element of the hunt.
I think so.
I would agree. I've been to, there's certain liquor stores here that I always know have a good variety of beers, and they rotate their stock pretty regularly. And that's normally when I can find really special ones. And if you show up early, like, sometimes I'll be doing my errands in the morning. So I'll think, okay, I'll pop in on that one and do a little bit of shopping because I know we'll be filming the next week or something. And if I pop in too early, they haven't stocked the shelves yet. and things will be like a
Yep.
little bit bare. So you have to also get there like right after the shelves are stocked. So that timing's got to be perfect too. So there's a lot of elements to the beer hunt. There's a lot of
Yes.
nuances and things like that that we're going to be exploring in these episodes, which is great. So Derek, yeah, yes, sir. Hofbrau mugs. Thank you. I have a funny story about Hofbrau. Well, not so funny, but just a story that I can tell you in a sec. How was that Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest beer? He wants to know.
Delicious, delicious. I can't reveal too much because there's an in-depth conversation about it coming up. But let's say that it was incredibly refreshing, very crushable, and it has a very unique Sierra Nevada character.
Hmm.
I'll leave it at that. I think like that encompasses it. So definitely something that I would recommend if you can find it.
So about a week ago, I went to go visit a friend of mine who lives in Toronto, and like I was helping him work on his back deck, kind of like varnishing the deck. And we went out for Dimitri. You know Dimitri. Also,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Dimitri's always like, cheers to him.
Yeah. And so we went to a restaurant near his house after just to have like a bite and quick
Hmm.
beer. And it was a German, I didn't know, but it was a German restaurant. And there was a German waitress there. And like we're asking, hey, what beers do you have on tap? And she mentions a couple and she mentions Hofbrau. So like, oh, yeah, that's what I want, definitely. Because I'd never
Yeah.
had it on tap. I've only ever had the bottle. And
Nice.
so she brought it in the huge chilled mug. But then she started explaining to me how I pronounced it wrong. And it wasn't Hofbrau. And it was like, it was Hofbrau, like, but Brau. But even then, it's not right. There was a sound to it that just wasn't, if you just pronounce it straight, it wasn't that. And it was
Mm.
something very, very different. And I've been butchering the pronunciation this whole time. Um, but she was laughing at me under her breath and she didn't want to tell me. And then she was kind of snickering. And then she told me, I was like, I find it funny how you guys pronounce that beer. And yeah, so she was criticizing North American
Yeah,
pronunciation of
well,
which is understandable. It's understandable.
it's funny how like certain names. Sorry guys,
Oh,
like
we
I'm
keep
having
losing
problems
Alexander
with
to the
my.
beer ethers.
I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, yeah, your mic is off. Oh, okay, he's got to pop in and out. Yeah, so I said not much of a story, but it's just interesting to found that I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. But there's that little umlaut over the A or the U, right? So however that affects the pronunciation, it does. And yeah, we just butcher the pronunciation over here.
Sorry guys, like tonight apparently my microphone is not helping. But
No
anyway,
worries, buddy. You're back. Hoff boy. Oh, is that it? Hoff boy. That makes sense. Okay, that sounds right. I don't know if that. Yes. Okay, so Derek knows Hoff boy. There we go.
yeah,
Much
it
more
it
informed beer reviewer than us. That's for sure.
well, it I think uh, I personally think that once a beer becomes like such and has such an impact
Hmm.
on a different culture where it becomes also assimilated, it is inevitable that the pronunciation gets butchered a little bit. But I don't know, like the way I see it is just like makes it even more interesting because it means like that, everybody knows it and has acquired it like in a knows how to pronounce it and is even attributed like, no, this is how you say it. It's like the ABT 12, right? Like everybody here pronounce it ABT 12. That's not how you pronounce it. It's Abbott 12. That's how they say it over there. But everybody here calls it like San Bernardo's ABT 12 because that's just how they call it.
Is that everybody? I thought that maybe just might have been us. That's how we started.
Well, all everybody I've known and I've
Really?
for all the time I've worked at Total Wine, everybody called it that.
Okay,
So
that makes
maybe
sense.
it's just a small portion of here where I live. It's possible, but like IPA in Italy is called IPA, so they pronounce it in a completely different way.
That
So
makes perfect
you know,
sense, man. IPA is such an Italian word to say. It just
so
flows.
it's
IPA.
yeah, IPA.
IPA.
What kind of beer is that? That's an IPA.
That's an
And
IPA.
I said, what is it exactly?
With the ABC 12, that makes perfect sense because it is the Abbott, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
every one of
The
their beers is
Pater
named after a different
prior.
class in the order of the monks, right? There's the Pater, the Prior, the Abbots, and but I think it's because it's not fully, as we know, Abbott ABBOT. It's not spelled out fully, so you think I
Yeah.
don't know. Is it an abbreviation or is that just kind of like the? That's not the French way
I
of saying it, I would assume.
I I'm gonna go ahead and this I don't know for sure, but I
Gonna
remember
plead the fifth.
I remember Mr. Pastorella, Marco from the San Bernardus,
Yeah.
being on a live and explaining and saying that that was just a word, the Flemish word, I believe,
Oh, okay.
for that. But I'm not sure about this.
Ipa.
I just know that he pronounced it Abbott, and he said it multiple times, and he also mentioned it. That's how just how you pronounce it. Well, I remember like thinking, oh wow, like okay, I've always been pronouncing it wrong, and everybody else has because this is just how everybody around in my little circle, had pronounced it. So
Yeah. Speaking of
it's
Marco
okay.
Passarella, we got to get him back on a Beer Bracket Sessions episode because we almost had that. We had an appointment. We were waiting to film. Alessandro and I were ready, and he showed up like a half an hour late and was like, "Sorry, guys." He was on for like
Yeah,
5 minutes. He was like, "Sorry, guys, I got to go. There was a mix up. Sorry, I'm late." But
yeah.
like you said, there was a brewery emergency, right? At St. Bernardus.
Yeah, he said something that it was, and then we tried to reschedule, but like we
He's a busy
didn't
guy.
quite hear back. Like, so he was quite busy. So we
He's busy
probably
imbibing
try
in the
again.
ABT 12s. The Nitro ABT 12s that they have on tap at the brewery.
That's what he was doing, probably.
So for anybody who's been watching the channel for a long time, they know like the ABT 12 is on our Perfect Beer Roundtable. Fantastic beer. They have a nitro infused version of ABT 12 that's available in certain pubs in Belgium that is just mind blowing. Because if you know, it's like a Belgian quad. So a nitro infused 10% ABV Belgian quad. I have no idea what that would be like. That's just like it's a beer dream. I can't even picture that at all.
It's I don't even know. Yeah, I have no words. Like
No words.
it's something that probably needs to be tested and tried.
See, if we had like craft beer channel budget, and freedom where we didn't have jobs and families, and we could just sort of, like hit the road and go on these beer quests. That's one thing I would love to go to the St. Bernard's Brewery and just pop in and have a nitro infused ABT 12. I would go all the way there just to try that.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
that would be the
Well,
beer
I mean,
quest.
just go all the way there and trying the regular Abbott 12 on tap like would be a quest on
Oh, you're
itself.
switching to
But
Abbott. You're switching your pronunciation. Okay.
yeah, the Abbott
Are we making
BT12
an
like
official beer bracket pronunciation change here?
no, I don't think so. I think we should keep the ABT 12. At least that's
Okay.
how it is in my head. But since
Agreed.
we've been playing on words here, like I figured it would be good time to throw some curveballs.
I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, that is definitely a beer quest that I would love to embark on. I think, and I'll let you. This is a good question for you, man. If there was an aside, because we already talked about ABT 12 now. If there was one beer quest that you could go on, one trip where you could travel somewhere to try one particular beer in a specific place, what would it be?
That's I think I know that since we both been like a couple of times separately and a different occasion in Ireland to Guinness. I think my next place would probably be the Ex Schlenkerla in Bamberg.
That's a good one.
I think that place in particular has like not only good beers, but it has a very very long tradition. And I would put as a close second, I would put the Weinstefaner.
Okay.
Because I think that's another one that I would like to. I've never had a chance to visit, but I would just be curious to see it.
Yeah.
So I think those two, close by. But if I had to pick one, I would Ex Schlenkerla, especially after we've talked to Matthias. Like I feel like there's a bit more of a connection there, a little bit more intangibles now.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer. What's yours, my friend? What are you thinking?
And if anybody watching has any beer pilgrimages they'd like to make, let us know down below. Oh, there we go. Nate Schlenkerla or West Latieren. Yeah. Stormblade.
It's the
EPA
series.
was in the Simpsons movie. It was really the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. It's true. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's great. I have to rewatch the Simpsons movie. I saw that in the theaters, and maybe once a year later, I rented the DVD. God, that's how long ago it
Yeah,
was renting
that's a
DVDs.
long time ago. I'm gonna have to rewatch
I
that.
got to
Yeah.
rewatch that one. Yeah, I remember that being fantastic. Yeah, Schlenkerla, for anybody watching who doesn't know, we did a review of their Marzen, a fantastic brewery in Bamberg, Germany, and they're the originators of the smoked beer, and so they burn beechwood. Correct, Austin? It's beechwood,
Yeah. Beechwood.
and so they smoke their malts with actual open flames, burning beechwood, and their beers just all have this fantastic smoky quality to them. Some more than others, like their Marzen, it's really described smelling it like, when you're sitting by, I always say the campfire analogy, when you're
Hmm.
outside sitting by a campfire for a couple of hours and you smell your shirt after, and there's that particular campfire smell. That's kind of how the beer smells. And it's very bacony and savory in taste, and it's just delicious. It's such a. I have one in my beer cellar downstairs. Actually, I might need to go break this open if this live goes a little bit longer, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, so yeah, Derek's Weinstefan makes great beers. Yeah, so it seems like hey, there's some commonalities here. People have similar answers. West Lateran would be an amazing one, Nate, too. That would be fantastic. I think any Trappist brewery would be such a treat to go
But
visit.
see,
Really,
and
right?
this is a question to Nate, but anybody who knows, like I thought about that came into my mind, but the reason why I didn't mention that is because I don't know if they actually allow people
West Lateran?
on West
I
Lateran, to
don't
my
think they do.
understanding. So obviously
Hmm.
it would be great, like to go on his try it to begin with would be amazing, but I don't know if they and if they do, like definitely that's probably gonna get up there right with the Wine Stefaner. Like it's on my list.
Oh, Derek, I'd love to visit Ireland for some fresh Guinness at the brewery and definitely try Big Six Oktoberfest beers in Germany. Okay, I got to tell you, Derek, yes, Guinness in Ireland is another beast. It's a different
Mm.
drink. The rumors are true. It's not just a beer rumor. They're very, very true. It is fresher, it is creamier, it is tastier, it is everything you could possibly hope for. But you know what? Hot take. The brewery, the Guinness Storehouse experience you can do and go do a tour, not the best Guinness that I had in Ireland, which is surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, better than what you can find in most bars in North America, I would assume. But there are some pubs, and there are like really well known ones. There's one called Bose. There's another one called the Gravediggers, John Kavanagh's. Even the famous Temple Bar that Alessandro and I met at, they have fantastic Guinness there. All of those bars had better Guinness than I thought the storehouse that the brewery did. But definitely, Derek, yeah, if you can go to Ireland as a beer fan, Ireland is like beer heaven. It's great.
It is. It is one of the
Yeah.
beer heavens.
Mm. For me, you know what I think it would be? St. Bernardus is definitely up there. I would love to go because their brewery just looks fantastic. I mean, when you see
It does.
pictures of it,
It does.
it's basically on what used to be farmland, but it's in like the landscape. It looks like it's in the middle of a wide open vista, like a giant open field. And there's this beautiful modern building. They modernized the brewery, I don't know how long ago, and like a beautiful tasting room, and they have the outside beer garden and everything. But just to have all those fantastic beers on tap, which I've never experienced, and to be able to taste them just fresh from a keg, and to have the nitro infused ABT 12, but that would be amazing. But my second beer pilgrimage would be to have Pilsner Urquell from a side pole Lucre tap in what's now called Czechia. I think they include it, from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be that's a good one, man.
yeah, I
Good
think that would be
choices.
a beer pilgrimage for me.
Good choices. Good choices.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We with two minds, we put together like a beer bucket list right there.
Yeah, man, Derek, you got to go. You have to go one day. And also, like, you can keep your eye open. I'm not sure how it is from San Francisco, but you can often find like cheap flights to Dublin, and it's kind of like one of the cheaper locations that you can fly to in Europe. So if you want to do like a lot of times they'll do layovers, right? You have a layover in London or Dublin if you're going somewhere else, but you can find some pretty well priced flights to get out there. So keep your eye open. Definitely recommend it. Nate Pilsner Urquell, a great one too. I think yeah, all these are great. But the thing is, the Urquell that we get here in the can or bottle is good. I've just heard that on tap, like fresh, with those side pull taps that really sort
Yeah.
of control and enhance the carbonation to make it really creamy and frothy. I've heard it's just a whole other experience altogether.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to try that. That and the Czech Var too. The Craft Beer Channel did a fantastic series of episodes on that. I think kind of recently, where they went to the Czech Var Brewery, and they serve that traditionally with the same side pull taps too. Which yeah, I'd be very curious to try that. Nate says I also want to go to Alchemy in Stowe, Vermont, and Russian River in Santa Rosa, California. Yeah, Russian River. Oh my God, there. Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. And then Derek, here in the U.S., Deschutes and North Coast are also great breweries. Yeah, you know what? The Deschutes, they have. I never know how to pronounce that because in French, that word is Deschutes, but I guess it's kind of been anglicized over time, so I guess Deschutes. But they have a double. I think it's a double IPA that I can get here. But yeah, we don't. I don't see too many of their beers here. And yeah, you got to go to Sierra Nevada and North Carolina. Yeah.
That's a good one. That Sierra Nevada in general, like that would be a good one, a local one to go visit. So for sure.
Absolutely. One day, my friend. One day, these beer pilgrimages shall be made.
The beer quests.
Mhm. So yes, we haven't posted in a little while, but the beer bracket of the month episode is coming, which is going to be fun. And we do have a massive backlog of stuff that we filmed that is just
There's some.
have not had time to get to. So I think having this little break, this little filming break for a couple of weeks because of my move, is probably going to allow me to catch up on some editing and sort of get to a lot of these fantastic episodes that we haven't done yet. Like we filmed a review of the Sierra Nevada Torpedo,
Yep.
which I'm really excited to edit that one and post that one. That was a great beer pilgrimage where I got that one. There's a good story to that. There's also Kingfisher, the
The Kingfisher. Is a
the
good
Indian
one
beer,
also, yeah.
the Indian beer company, the famous Indian beer that we did a review of, and so we're excited. Yeah, there's tons of episodes that we filmed. They just haven't had time to get to. So I think this little interlude here is going to be nice little time to get on all these. Let's catch on the chat here. Big Mo, hey there, how's it going? First time here. The Czech VAR video is cool. Too bad Pilsner Urquell so hard to find here in Quebec, Canada. You're in Quebec. That's true. Big Mo, you've commented before. Yes, I'm from Montreal and I'm moving back to Montreal actually in a couple of weeks here, which is cool. Yeah, I've never seen Urquell in Montreal in anywhere in Quebec, and I was when I moved to Ontario. Actually, Alessandra was the one who told me about it, and then we did a review of it, and that was the first time I had it. But I've never seen it for sale anywhere in Quebec, unfortunately. I find Quebec's like a little bit, and this is kind of a niche topic, I guess, if you're not from Quebec, but it's a little hard to find a wide variety of imports there. I find Quebec's really awesome for the microbrews. You go into any dépanneur, right, and you can find an amazing selection of microbrews, local beers, and they have their good selection of the popular imports as well. But like a lot of the Belgian beers, the Czech beers, like a lot of the imports that I can get where I'm living in Ontario now, I couldn't find in Quebec. So I'm excited to go back for some reasons, but I'm going to miss the beer selection here in Ontario a little bit. Nate, my children are rebelling since it's nearing bedtime, so my time might be up. Hey, Nate, no problem, man. Thanks for
Nate.
popping in a little bit.
Cheers to you.
Yeah. All right. I think it is nearing our time as well. This was supposed to be a little quick 20, 30-minute stream just to pop in and say hi because we haven't posted in a little while. But it was so nice to talk to everybody in the chat here. We got a couple of people popping in. That was awesome. Montreal Pilsner Urquell used to be available years ago, but I think it's only on tap now here. Oh, my God. Okay, before we sign off, I need to know this. Do you know anywhere, Big Mo, where you can get it on tap in Montreal? offhand, because if you do, I'm going to go there first thing next time when I'm there. Next, going back in like
That's
3 weeks.
a good beer secret to
That's a good
know.
beer
So
secret, man. If you've
Big
got the
Mo, like
recommendation,
make
hook me up. Let me know.
yeah.
Where can I get Urkel on tap in Montreal? Yes, man. The battle of the the heavyweight Hefeweizens shall happen. We will definitely do a collab there.
Oh,
So
it's coming.
yeah,
It's coming. It's coming.
we'll be in touch,
That one
buddy,
there
for sure,
is.
Derek.
I'm a little bit intimidated by that one, to
Hmm.
be honest. I think, yeah, because yeah, that's a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one.
In terms of a comparison, that's going to be a tough one to judge.
Well, it's because they're in the same category and they're two perfect beers. So I don't think we
True.
have anything else that is in that same. It's that's gonna be. Whew, can't wait.
That's right. That's right. They're two beers that got a perfect rating in our reviews. So that's right. We've never put two. Well, yeah, we have, but that's going to be interesting. Okay, I'm waiting. Big Mo's used to give me a second. I need to know. I need the inside track on where I can get Urkel on tap in Montreal. This is like the information I need to end the night. It must be fantastic. I think, and we want to do a can versus bottle of Urkel, and we actually have it on the
Yes,
schedule to
it's
film
on.
eventually.
Yep.
Because I noticed, and I was telling Alessandra about this. I don't think you haven't tried the bottled version. Oh, you haven't tried the can version. I'm sorry.
No, I haven't tried the can. I
Yeah.
have had the bottle. Yeah.
It's a bunch of bars. Never actually had it on tap. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just give it a quick Google then. That's cool. Yeah. I find it's very different in can as opposed to the bottle, and I prefer it so much in the bottle. I found, like you said, you've never had it in the can. I find in the bottle it's so much more flavorful. I think it's a little bit closer to how it's meant to taste, which is funny because that's how people kind of say canned beer normally is. It
Yeah.
kind of is a little bit more authentic in terms of how it's supposed to taste. But I find the bottled version of Urkel is fantastic, so much better than the canned. So I'm excited to try it on tap. Yeah, we got this, man. We got this, Derek. Collab, epic versus battle coming. We'll work out the details. We'll talk. Well, cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is fantastic. This is so much fun to have you guys in chat. I know we have a couple of regulars now who pop into our lives, which is amazing. Again, Alessandro and I, this is for us has always been just about hanging out with each other and having a fun creative project to do. And it's been fun to see the audience grow over time to what it is now. We're still a modestly sized YouTube channel, but it's always cool to have a couple of people pop into these lives when it's just me and Alessandro hanging out on a night like this and
Thank you,
having a
guys.
beer and
It's
people
a
sharing their
pleasure.
thoughts and opinions on things. It's always great. So have a great night, everybody. This was a pleasure. And yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully you watch some future episodes and you enjoy them, and we'll definitely keep an eye. Derek, we'll be in touch. Stormblade, Big Mo, thank you for popping in. Nate, of course, always a fantastic regular in the beer brackets world. Have a great, fantastic evening, everybody. And take care. We'll see you next
Have a
time.
great evening. Have a good one.